Before we begin, I want to share that I'm not a licensed therapist or mental health professional. I'm simply speaking from my own experience with grief, what I've learned, what's helped me, and what I wish someone had told me. If you're struggling, I encourage you to reach out to a trusted professional or support system. This is just my story, shared in hopes that it might offer comfort or connection to anyone who needs it. Testing, testing. One, two, three. Hello, everyone. I know it's been a while, but welcome back to my channel. Today, I wanted to talk about my story, what I've been through when it comes to the loss of a parent. I know there's the disclaimer in the beginning, but I do want to reiterate that I am not a licensed professional. This is just me sharing my story and my testimony of going through that. And there may be tears, there may be some difficult moments as with me trying to express this. So please be patient. I don't plan to cry on the internet, but we here, girl. So I have my notebook just to give myself some notes and making sure that I am on track. So yeah, if that is something that you're interested in to talk about grief, talk about heartbreak, life after that, if anything else, if to so you don't feel so alone in what it is that you may be grieving, whether it's a loss of a parent like me or anything that you may feel like is a traumatic loss for you in your life. This is a way to show support from my end to my audience and whoever else may reach across this video. If that's something that you're interested in, then please keep on watching. The beginning of the story, we're going to take it back to summer of 2009. I was 17 years old and just finished graduating high school. Well, no, we're going to take a little bit further into the year, about October. That's when she got sick. So my mom, she had an injury, and so she had to get surgery, and she was placed on a blood thinner because she had a clot in her leg. And surgery was successful, but she decided not to receive blood transfusion due to her own personal reasons. Ultimately, that's what affected her life. Her body just got tired, really having to stay alive to fight through the infection. Really took a toll on her body. And December 5th, 2009 is when she passed. She was 48. I had turned 18 by then and really changed my life. I feel like 18 is a very critical year to want your parent in your life, especially my mom. You know what I'm saying? Again, whatever her reasons of why she didn't want to take that, that was her personal decision, and I had to accept that. And a lot of people, when it comes to religion and faith and what that looks like in the medical field, it's a very sensitive topic, um, as those two things can be. And that can drive the decision literally between life and death when it comes to what you believe in and how to go about having life after you get sick. You know what I'm saying? And so she was very brave. She said, if it was my time to go, it's my time to go. And it was really hard to hear my mom make that kind of decision when, I was still here. I was like, don't you want to continue to live life? And there was other people that were trying to convince her, trying to speak to me into trying to convince her, like, she'll listen to you. And it's like, how can you convince your parent, your parent, your caretaker, to make a decision as you being the child? You get what I'm saying? And so those decisions that were made, we put her in hospice. And yeah, having to see her deteriorate was very hard. She did pass in front of me. Yeah, I'll never forget that. That began the journey to today of really having to deal with losing someone that you've known all your life, the one that you feel like knows you best, and having to live life without them. Again, having to make that type of decision at 18 was very difficult, especially one that was, I felt like, when they say, oh, 18, that's when you become an adult. That was one of the most adult decisions that I had to make, was to put her in hospice. And, having to feed her, having to make certain decisions without her counsel was very difficult. And it actually affects how I make decisions today. Really feeling like every decision is just dramatic change that's going to happen. But overall, that's what happened. That's the story. Left its residue on my life. That's basically the gist of it. I don't want to seem as though how I'm speaking about it is so regular, but it's because I've said the story, recited it, lived it for so long. Now it's, I think this December, going to make 15, 16 years since I've lived without her, or our relationship has changed. And so I don't want to seem as though me speaking matter of factly means that I don't care about it, that it doesn't affect me to this day. It's just the story, something that I live with, and it's really normal to me. So that's the story of what happened. It's been difficult. And I think as you age, you get to, see it in different ways as you live your own life. But we'll get into that. Alrighty, the aftermath. I did not attend her funeral. Even though she passed in front of me, I was like, I feel like if you go through grief, you know the cycles of grief, like denial, denial, denial. Okay, it wasn't true. It's fine. She's gonna wake up. Like, I'm not pressed. I don't need to go to the funeral. This is all pomp and circumstance. Like, I don't believe it. I remember praying at the end of her bed, at the edge of her bed, like praying to God, don't take my mom away. Like, this is not what's happening. So when all the proceedings happened, I did not go to the funeral. And for 15 years, up until last year, I did not know where she was buried. We'll get into that too. But yeah, when she first passed, I didn't go to no funeral. No. She's asleep, it's fine, she gonna get up, whatever, whatever. I would say about a month afterwards, January 2010, is when I really received or absorbed the shock of her passing, and I just broke down and cried. If you didn't know, I'm Haitian, so that was the same month of the January 2010 earthquake, and so my family members that were in Haiti was being affected by that too. So there was just a lot going on at one time in my personal life and in my culture. And so, yeah, it was just a lot of sadness and destruction, things that, felt like it was just falling apart. And it took me for a whirlwind. Um, so that's how it was for me when she first passed. And then I would say about like the first 5 years, it really felt like she was away on vacation and I was just waiting for her to come back. Like, I don't think the mind really processes what it means when something ceased to exist. Like, this is not possible for this thing to live anymore. Again, especially something that has been there since you were born. She existed before I was here. So how you left before you get what I'm saying? So really having my brain logically understand, like, this person will not be here ever again. Um the first 5 years was me feeling like this was a fever dream. It felt like I would even dream about her, like she's just away, and I would tell her, come with me. And she wouldn't. In my dreams, I would tell her, like, come back. Like, there's more to do. There's more. I want you to come back and live with me. And she refused. She was like, no, I'm gonna be where I'm at. Okay. Ugh. And yeah, and so my psyche had, it was challenging to adjust to that truth of my mom is gone. And so as time went on, and of course life is still happening. Life doesn't just stop for you because you went through a death in the family. So I did drop out of school for a year. I came back. Um Finishing school was tough. I took it slow, but I did finish by the grace of God. Hello. Um, that took 6 years. So grieving my mom at that time, plus restarting my college career and, going to work, going to school at the same time and grieving her. And me and my dad, our relationship was, I didn't speak to him for a year. I moved out the house. Like, girl, it was just a lot. Okay. It was just a lot of just this happening and then trying to find stability after that. Me and my dad, we rekindled a little bit. Cause when I moved back, I didn't move back here in my childhood home. I went to live with my cousins, and yeah, it was a slow walk. It was a slow walk. Yeah, year 10, and now I'm at year 15. It's interesting to see how something like that colors your perspective on everything else. It affects how, my views on dating. It affects my views on marriage. It affects my views of what it means to be a woman. It affects my faith. It affects her identity and mine were like this. When I tell you we were peas in a pod, my mom knew me like the back of my hand. That was my dog, okay? Like, she wasn't just my mom, she was my friend. She was someone very dear to me, very close. Like, I could go to her for anything. And I'm so thankful to have a mom like that. Like, I know some people have tumultuous relationships with their moms, and that of course can affect their perspective on her when she passes. But my mom was so dear to me. And so, not just losing a parent, but my best friend, and feeling like I have to navigate this life without her has been so hard. Oh, I need a minute. Hold on. Oh, good Lord. Whew. Okay, girl. Now I'm a decade and a half in, 15 years in. Well, before I get to this year, yeah, it's been difficult having to grieve her. Me and my dad, we don't really speak. We speak time to time about her, but it's really been a journey that I've taken on for myself. When it comes to like the mother and daughter connection, I was raised an only child as well. I was her only child. And so, even, I didn't have siblings to share that grief with, something I've had to navigate alone. And it shaped me to be the person I am today. I think now my psyche has, I don't think, I know that my mind has now accepted that she's gone. It's a reality I have to deal with. Before I get into the advice of everything, I don't want people to pity me. The only thing I would ask for is just, good vibes, um, support, encouragement, because this is something I will have to deal with for the rest of my life. I don't think you can ever not grieve your parent. no matter how old you are. That's something you're going to deal with for the rest of your life. I will deal with this for the rest of my life, not just because she died, but how it happened, the timing it happened, and how I have to navigate my own life because of that event. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I'm better at managing it now that I'm older, now that I understand myself with this grief and how learning how it has affected me and how I can better support myself to live this life that I can continue to live. So, yeah, it affects everything. It affected my memory, it affected my communication and relationships with other women, older women as well. It affected, like I said, it colors everything. It colors everything. I think with anything in life, you have to be mindful of how things that happen to you doesn't affect the rest of your life. I need to find ways to better support myself so I can live the life to its fullest. I deserve to live the best life that I can possible, and I don't want to be just defined by this event. Even though it does affect me, I choose to believe that I can still have an abundant life in the ways that I can, in the ways that are available to me, and ensure that that incident and others that I've had to grieve, because it's not just hers. Like, I've lost other things, I've lost other people that are still living. I'm talking about just in relationship alone. Like, it affects how you leave people, it affects what you believe about leaving other people's lives. Like, yeah, I was cutthroat. People leaving my life didn't. I did that with no regard. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh, if I could handle my mom leaving my life in this way, what makes you think I need to preserve a relationship with you? You get what I'm saying? So having the skills to conflict resolve with other people wasn't in my toolbox. Like, my emotions were, if you hear, you hear. If you're not, you're not. And if you decide not to be, okay, so what? I'm still kind of like that, because people should be free to leave your life if they don't want to be there, but doing it with a lot more compassion. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot more options available to you from just all or nothing, black and white. So something that happened like that at a young age really blurred the lines of what is normal and what isn't, because it was a part of my emotional makeup as I was in my formative years, as a teenager. So yeah, I didn't know what was normal or not. This was just the circumstances that were handed to me, and that's how I dealt with them. So it's like, oh, she could leave, you could leave. So forget you. You know what I'm saying? Like, bye. That's not healthy. Don't, I mean, if it works for you, but I think with this life, you should have community, and that's not how you build community. You know, you should find the skills to learn how to talk it out, regard other people's feelings, learn how to regard your own feelings. Don't feel as though nothing affects you. Things like that. But let's get into the advice, because I feel like that's what we're venturing into now. How am I now? How am I dealing with this grief today? What advice I could give to anyone out there that is going through what it is that they're going through when it comes to loss and traumatic events? What has helped me? Therapy. Therapy. Okay. I haven't been in a long time. I would love to go back. Therapy is in the cards for me in the future. Actually, last year when I turned 33, I'll be 34 in August. Leo gang. After my 33rd birthday is when I decided to visit her grave. I asked my dad where she was buried, and I had my own final goodbye for her. I've since then visited her grave a few more times and really, I guess you can say, make up for lost time. And I guess faith based community, Christians, People have their different opinions when it comes to visiting the grave of a loved one. I don't think I could fare well with her passing if I felt like she was like just gone. How I see it is that we still have a relationship. It just looks different. You know, she's not present with me in a particular form. She's present in another. And when you say relationship, it's usually with two people, right? Or, you know, whatever floats your boat. But it's multiple people in that thing. So if I'm alive, there's still a relationship there. It may not look the same. We may not interact the same way. We may not communicate the same way. She shows up in different ways to me. And that has really helped with my grief of her. That I just had to adjust my perspective on what this relationship will look like from now on. So that's what really has helped me, and hopefully that can help you. Is something that I offer to you when it comes to dealing with something as heavy as losing a parent. I think that can help with anything when it comes to how painful life can be and the circumstances that it hands you. Expect the unexpected. You never know what's going to trigger you. You never know. That's why it's a trigger, right? It just springs up. Like, I still live in the childhood home that I grew up in with my mom. Trigger City, okay? Like, there's triggers all over the place. This bedroom set, trigger. It was her last birthday gift to me before she passed. So I'm reminded of her all the time. I have a picture of her up right here. So yeah, she's still in my awareness, so to speak. Developing healthy coping habits. Okay. Find ways to support yourself when you're going through a trigger. Now, to keep in mind, to open up a parentheses, this goes for anything in life, right? This is the vehicle in which I've had to learn these things, but this goes for anything. Anything that could trigger you, find ways to support yourself to move through the tough moment, okay? Have a package, or have a list, or have, like, you know, in case of emergency kind of a thing. This is the things that I'm going to do to help me navigate through this challenging moment. For me, that's really either eating, sleeping. I try to eat healthier things. Sometimes that don't always happen, but but I do try to, like, you know, snack on things that are a bit more healthier. I love cucumbers because they have that crunch. So something that has texture that is sensory to me really helps. Going for a walk, talking to a loved one, splashing cold water in your face, breathing, exercise, doing things to move you through the moment, or just crying. Don't be averse to cry. Don't feel like you're succumbing to the moment because you're crying. You may need to cry. It's a way to flush it out. You know what I'm saying? It's something to express out of you. Yeah, if you're mad, be mad. If you anxious or you have anxiety about it, have it, and then find a way to calm yourself down. Don't add on the shame and judgment that comes along with moving through this. The moment is tough already. Don't criticize and condemn yourself for having it. It's a very human and natural response to go through the death of a loved one that's going to affect the rest of your life. Don't add the shame and the criticism to be like, oh, why am I feeling this way? It's been 20 years. So that's your mom, that's your dad, that's your grandpa, that's your aunt, that's your brother. Like, whoever that's your best friend. Like, whoever it is that meant so much to you, and you feel like all this time has passed and it still affects me in this way. Yeah, it does. That person meant a lot to you. Be on your own side. Give yourself the same love and compassion that you would give someone else. And baby yourself. Straight up baby yourself. Listen, I treat myself. Listen, I'm a princess. Okay? It's okay, honey. It's okay. Just let it out. Just breathe. It's all right. Okay? You're okay. You're fine. You need to cry? Cry. Go ahead and cry. And you might cry 3 times. You may cry the whole day. You may cry for 3 days. You may cry for the rest of the week. Do the things you need to do with the tears in your eyes, okay? And when you can bring yourself to that full moment, do that as well. Because life can't stop, unfortunately. You can't take a week off every time you have a huge emotional moment, right? So as you're doing the thing, if you gotta clean and you sweep, play music and cry, girl. That's what I do. I do all three at the same time. And then once I'm done, I can move on with my day. Grief never stops. It's not gonna go away. It's your companion now. It's a friend to you now. If you want to see it as one, you never know when it wants to decide to show itself. So since it's with you, learn to befriend it. Learn to see it as, a partner now. And just like you deal with anybody else, deal with grief in that same way. And spend time with it, give it the attention that it needs, and it will go away until it's time to come back out again. It is what it is. What is grief if not love persevering? Is that not the quote? Love is not just the butterflies that you feel for a crush or the love of your life. Love got anger, frustration, hopelessness, friction in it. There's a lot that's accompanied with that love. I had to realize that I will be grieving this woman for the rest of my life. Once I radically accepted the fact that she's gone and this is what I have left, this huge ball of grief, how can I create a comfortable relationship with it? How can I move with it through my life in a way that supports me instead of hurt me? What truths do I need to accept when it comes to her death? What truths do I have to accept when it comes to my own values as a woman as I grow older in age? How am I going to be taking care of my own health? How am I going to create community? What do I look for in a partner, and the support and the values that you know what I'm saying? Like seeing her and how she dealt with her life and how it ended informed me about my own. I had to take time to accept that, and I had to review and analyze and rebuild the complexity of that and make it my foundation on how I'm going to lead my own life. Give yourself that same love and patience and compassion and kindness, not just to that thing, but to yourself going through that thing. Um, Grief has really challenged me to look at the relationship I have with myself, how I view my emotions, how I am to me when I move through difficult things. That event is a part of your life now, and how can you live with it? Honor yourself. Honor yourself and respect what it is that you've been through. So that's my advice for you. Honor the feelings that you have. Be present with your emotions. Don't try to ignore them or bypass them because it ain't gonna work, girl. I've tried. Give yourself time and the space to heal how you can. Look for the community that you need to support you to be able to talk through these tough emotions. Get your mind off of it. Go have fun. Go do something else. Ask for help. Asking for help. Oh my God. Being an only child, that is one of the hardest things to do because it's like, oh, I did this all on my own. I could process this all by myself. Not all the time. Not all the time. Sometimes people are not available, so you're gonna have to. But if you could ask for help and there's help for you, take it. Take it. Be open to peace and to healing and to radically accept what can't be changed. A couple of months before I turned 34 this year, reading these notes back to myself and sharing my story with you guys, that's been my journey. That's been my journey from 18 to 33. And these are the lessons that I've learned how to deal with myself. So I hope that helped. I hope that this story of mine, this testimony of mine, has helped you to know a little bit more about me, and in the very least help you with your journey of any tough moment that you're going through. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time on my channel. Bye.